I love a good volunteer, y'all. Mother Nature will give you what you need. It's like a treasure hunt in my garden today. We're going to get them all. Good morning. Welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. It also is not morning. Just feels like morning. It's the afternoon and it's cold here. I am suited up with a hoodie again and like y'all, it's cold. I need to go put my boots on though. It has been quite rainy here, so that's number one. So it's muddy out here. Well, it's not muddy in the yard, but it's muddy with the chickens. I've already taken care of the chickens and the quail this morning. I got 5 chicken eggs, one of which I made a mistake and dropped, so that cracked. And then I got 4 quail eggs. So everybody's doing well. Everybody is laying. I'm excited about that. Also, I gotta go buy a new incubator. Don't know if I said it over here or not, but I broke mine. It was up on a shelf and it just dropped off. And I was like, darn. So I gotta go buy another incubator. I think it's like $159. So we're gonna wait until we actually have enough eggs. But this morning, if y'all remember, I said that I was going to save all of the volunteers. I'm gonna do that right now. And I keep saying morning, it is absolutely afternoon. Anyway, we're gonna do that, but I wanna show you something real quick. You remember I said I wanted a table here? And then I also said that I wanted to put a garden bed back here and that I already had the garden bed, right? So cleared everything out of here. The trays and things are in the smaller greenhouse. And I finally have my table. I set them out yesterday, my seedlings. I set them out when it rained because there's nitrogen in rain. And I was looking at them, I was like, I might need to fertilize these. And then I was like, well, it's raining, so let me just put it out in the rain, save myself the fertilization time and fertilizer and put them out in the rain. So I did that yesterday. I didn't let them stay out the whole time. I just put them out like early in the rain and then I brought them back into the greenhouse because I didn't want to drown them either, right? I do have a garden bed for this. A company actually sent me one. It is way too big. I did not notice the size of it. And I was like, well, that is not going to work. And so I emailed them yesterday and we're working through that. But I also ordered another garden bed, which I plan to keep. It's one that does not have all the screws in it. If that works, remember I was telling y'all that I wanted to switch some of these over into raised garden beds, some of the beds in the garden, because of the mole or the vole. Anyway, I'm thinking about doing that. So I ordered one from a company and I will tell y'all when I get it and all that stuff, but I paid for it myself because it doesn't have all the nuts and the bolts. With these nails, it is a hassle to do those nuts and bolts, and I'm gonna keep my nails. I'm always gonna have my nails. So I'm trying to find another garden bed option that I can replace some of the in-ground, well, some of the no-dig ones really, and then fill those and have raised beds. So I ordered it. We'll see how it works. I'm just happy that somebody has come out with an option that does not include a whole bunch of nuts and bolts. So can't wait to try that. But right now, that's what we're gonna do. We're about to go and save a whole bunch of seedlings, y'all. Volunteer seedlings. So free seedlings that were given to me by Mother Earth. So I haven't found a table for in here yet. So you can see all the seedlings are up here in this greenhouse now. All the trays are in this greenhouse, and I'm just gonna try to find a small table. Thankfully, I'm a small girl because this is gonna be our seed starting space where the seeds stay and they grow on and all of that. That's what this greenhouse is gonna be, and the other one is gonna be growing. I'm going to grow food in there. I'm gonna learn how to grow food in there. But today, we're gonna start these, well, save these seeds on the table outside. It's windy and my gloves are gone. We gotta use plastic gloves this morning because I left both pair of my gloves outside and it rained, like it really rained. Need to put these up. I left them out so the rain could clean them off for me. This is what I had the sweet potatoes in. I just dumped them out, but I need to put those up. And I was like, see, that's a pair of gloves right there. Need to go put them up on the porch so they could dry out. Oh, I know what I needed to tell y'all. And I needed to thank someone for. Someone that I didn't think knew I existed, y'all. And y'all know I love dahlias. I did not find any dahlia seeds this year. Well, I didn't look, honestly, but by the time I thought to look, dahlia seeds was gone. And I don't really prefer tubers, so I plant my dahlias from seed. So thank you so much, Jen from Floret. She sent me over some seeds, one of which included dahlias. That's a dahlia seed right there that she sent me. It's B's Choice. And then she sent me some zinnias. And I just thought it was the sweetest thing of her to do. You know, when anybody sends me something, I think it's the sweetest thing. So we're absolutely gonna get those started within the next few days because I think dahlias have a decent amount of time to the days to maturity. Luckily, we have a long growing season here. So thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate that. I really do. Alright, so we are going to fill these pots really quick, and I am going to do them in the larger pots just because they may, these are the tomatoes. The tomatoes I'm going to pot up. If I find any sunflowers, I'm going to just plant them by the trellis, transplant them by the trellis. Luckily, it has rained so much because I'm not going to have to water these in, and the soil is already going to be moist, so we should avoid a lot of transplant shock. We have borage that we need to move somewhere, anywhere other than where it's at, because borage gets huge, it self-sows, but I want to keep it. I let my borage go to seed because I want it to self-sow. I don't want to have to plant borage every year, and it easily self-sows. So we're going to move the borage. We also have some squash or melons. I don't know what they are, honestly. We're just going to move them into another spot in the garden because if you remember, I want to get my squash out early. So if these are squash, I just want to leave them out here. I don't want to leave them where they are though. If you remember, I had said that I might just leave all of these volunteers in this bed, but I'm not because I'm pretty sure I'm going to just go ahead and put corn in here. You know, the other thing I did this morning is I went and got all of the stakes and put them in the bags that the peppers are going to be in. So at the end of the season, I always move my peppers to a place that gets shady. So in the beginning of spring, this area right here are tomatoes. But then once the tomatoes die out, I move my peppers here. So all of these stakes were in those bags. And so I just pulled them out this morning and moved them to the bags the peppers were going to be in. And there's more over here. So just kind of doing some basic things to get ready for spring. So then there's things I won't have to do when it's time to plant out. We're going to move those squash into the one of the larger beds over here. And I was going to get straw this morning. And then I remembered the way that I was going, the road was closed. And I was like, I'm not getting ready to turn around and go all the way back. So we'll probably do that sometime tomorrow because I'm going to lay straw. I do not feel like weeding these beds like by hand. If I lay a thick enough layer of straw down, then it will end up killing these weeds, and I'll go with that. So yeah, we have a few volunteers. The tomatoes are going in pots because, okay, my whole idea with that is if I keep these tomatoes alive until July, when my tomatoes from the spring planting start to die out, then I could just replant them and they will be established. So we'll see how that works. But that is my plan. So tomorrow, I'm hoping to find a table so we can finish up this greenhouse right here. So let's fill up these containers and then start to take out the seedlings. And I'm using the 3-inch pots with the 10-20 cell tray and the little tray to hold these in place. I really like this. Like, this is a very helpful addition to the trays. Oh, and these trays are from Bootstrap Farmer in case you're new here. And I'm using the same soil that I start my seeds in. I think it'll be fine. It's a Miracle Grow organic. I'm gonna push it down, but then just put some soil in the top. Pushing it down so that it can get contact at the bottom. I don't even know how many tomatoes we have. How many of them we have, we're keeping them all. And no, I will not know the variety of the tomato, and I don't mind that. It's gonna be the end of the season, and so it's probably gonna be to the point where I'm tired anyway. So I'm fine with that. And then of course, if I have more space in spring than I think I have, I also just plant some out then. I think that it's a good thing to get volunteers. I know some people are like, don't let this plant or that plant go to seed because it's gonna volunteer. I love a good volunteer, y'all. So I think it would be a good idea to start pulling the tomatoes out. That way I will know what I have. I'm gonna also get a microgreen tray so I could just lay them on it as I pull them out because it's a good amount of them out there. Even though it's cold out here, it's not like freezing cold. It's just like not my weather. but it's okay. Also, I started pulling out things that were flowering, not everything. I'm just pulling a few things at a time, giving it to the chickens. That way by the time spring gets here, the garden will be cleared. Still leaving a few though. I want to leave them for the bees, but I am started to slowly pull them out. So we have a volunteer right here. How cute. And it looks like, you know, it's very sturdy. So we love that, but we're gonna go ahead and dig it out. Now, tomato roots, not a big deal. I've said it before, they don't mind having their roots disturbed. But look at that thing, right from nature. So we just gonna start pulling these out and then we're gonna plant them up. So that's everything in that bed. We're gonna look around. There are plenty of them. Y'all remember them cabbages that just died over here in this bed? That's one right there. It's probably actually getting ready to try to seed, but it didn't die. Apparently the roots, because that's the cabbage right there. This is another, some type of melon or cucumber. It looks more like cucumber to me. This one does. So we'll see. They might all be cucumbers. Who knows? I might take a picture of them to see what iPhone says that it is. That's what I do when I don't know what a plant is. That's how I know I got parsley growing by my fence. I don't know how that parsley got there, but it's parsley just growing by the opening of the garden. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna show y'all in a minute. Let me get these last few tomatoes. We ain't taking no weeds with us though. Now that's what we not gonna do. Leave the weeds in the bed, cause I'm about to smother them. It's just weeds everywhere, y'all. Look. That's wild. That's why I gotta get this under control, cause now my plants that I want to grow, like my leeks and stuff, they are now competing with these weeds for nutrients in this soil, and absolutely not. I think those are all of the tomatoes right now. Oh, another thing I need to do is fertilize my potatoes. I have not done that once this season, and I'm pretty sure by now I would have fertilized my potatoes. I'm going to get a stool, I think, so I can sit and do this. If I'm lucky, this will work. I've never done it before, but I think that it will work. And the overwintered peppers, I need to find a spot for them on a shelf, but I just wasn't caring yesterday. And clearly not caring right now, because they going on the ground. Let's get a stool and head back. Y'all, I'm so ready for spring. I couldn't believe it was so cold this morning. I said, why is it so cold out here? And I've been out here, me and my daughter were out here for about an hour this morning while I took care of the chickens and the quail. Like, why? Yeah, I feel like we're gonna need all of these. A lot of them are very small, and if you are not new here, you will know that I transplant my things. Even when I'm starting from seed, I transplant them without true leaves on them, so I don't think this will be a problem. I'm pulling the lower leaves off just because I'm gonna plant this very deep into the soil. So I'll take my whole hand, finger, and put it down there, and then I'm gonna drop this down in there. Should make for a sturdier plant, and tomatoes don't mind being planted a little bit deeper. Like this one, I didn't need a hole that big, so we're gonna fill that back in. I think it'll be exciting to kind of see what they are when they do start to grow. And even if somebody wants some tomatoes, I'll just tell them, like, I have some extras, I just don't know what they are. I think it'll be fun. And maybe I'll get something that I've been struggling with. Like the Isis candy, I really struggle with the Isis candy. I don't think I have really successfully grown that yet. But then again, will I even know what it is? No, I'll just know that it's a tomato. But I still think this is kind of cool to do. And so these will be in the greenhouse for a while, which is why I'm putting them into these large pots. I am going to watch my watering though. I think that was my issue with the seedlings that I started. They're in large pots and they don't have a lot of roots. And so it's no need to like overwater. Oh, you know what, y'all? That's a marigold. I'm about to get lucky. I'm going to look for these. I just noticed that this is not a tomato. This is a marigold. And so I am going to leave it in this pot, but any more that I find, because I've seen some with these types of leaves and I was like, I'm just not sure. But as I'm looking at it, this is a marigold. I need marigolds because remember my marigold seeds did not come up. So I'm definitely going to go and look for some more of those because I saw them, just didn't know what they were. Mother Nature, y'all. Mother Nature will give you what you need, especially since, you know, I kind of left it there to go to seed. Another reason why I will throw my seed pods from marigolds back down into the soil, because those are another one that will volunteer very easily. And marigolds are very good for the garden, and I'm about to go find all of them. It's like a treasure hunt in my garden today. And I'm loving it, and I'm loving it. Like I said, very small seedlings, but they'll be fine as long as I don't overwater them. And I have no plans on overwatering these ones. So that's another thing, you know, I'm learning as it relates to going a little bit bigger in the beginning when I start seeds, as opposed, because I do not like to pot up. I do not like to pot up. Seedlings will stay in a tray way too long with me because I hate to pot up. So this year I tried starting them in the larger pots, and so I'm learning that you really don't need a lot of water. And if it's drying out at the top, and we all know too that I love to bottom water, but when you have a small plant in a big container bottom watering may not be your best option. And that's what I think I learned this year too. Bottom watering might not be the best option for that. So what I'm gonna plan on with these is to just do mist on the top until they get a little bit larger, and then I will start to bottom water. And we're always learning something. We're always learning something. That's the great thing about gardening, is that you're always learning something. There's not just one way to do everything. It's just a part of like why I love gardening. The other reason is you could just experiment, because the good thing is, unless of course this is you really just growing food, all the food for your family, you don't want to experiment too much, but you can, and you can really find what works the best for your area, for your situation, because that's what I did with the greenhouse this year. I have no real experience growing in the greenhouse. At a point, I had the greenhouse open because I was like, I'm just gonna leave it open. But then I realized my seedlings were kind of struggling, and I started leaving the door shut and one window shut and only having one window open, and they started to do much better. So there's so much information out on the web, and trust me, it's very useful. It's how I got started with gardening. But then I also realized my own experience is also good, and it's okay for me to try things and see what happens, because I might realize that in my area, something that maybe didn't work in Florida or works in Florida doesn't work in Washington. Just kind of calling out just trying to calling out states that it could work for me. So yeah, if you're new to gardening, do that. Do some tests, some trials, some experiments, because you'll be surprised at what you find. You really will. And that's what I plan to do. Oh, you know what else we need to do? We need to get the green stock set up. It's on the back porch. I opened it to get the book out because I wanted to kind of read about it, but I need to get it set up. By the way, if you have green stalks, what kind of soil do you use? I know potting, so I'm not asking like potting soil or raised bed soil. I'm asking more of the brand name. What brand name do you use? Because the book said you want to have quality soil in it, and y'all know me. At this point, I'm definitely like, what's the cheaper soil? Because y'all know I love some black cow, and black cow expensive as I don't know what. By the way, those potatoes that's in the bags that don't have black cow in it, they grow them just like the potatoes that do have black cow. So I would venture to say that compost that I got was just fine. But what name brand do you use? I saw the soil that they're using on the Greenstock website. That soil is also expensive. I can't get it unless I go like 45 minutes away, and I absolutely don't want to do that. Absolutely don't want to do that. So give me some ideas on soil for that Greenstock. Y'all hear the wind blowing? I mean, it's blowing enough to blow my wind chimes. We don't like it. That means it's too cold out here. All right, we got a few left. They're kind of small. You know what I'm gonna do? Just for now, because I can separate them, because they're kind of small. We just gonna stick them in here with another one. And as they grow, I'll just separate them. Because it's only, I want to say 4 left. So much noise. But that's an urban setting for you. I should have thought about this before, and then I wouldn't have used so many pots, but it's okay, because I really don't want to pot up either, so it's definitely okay. All right, that's all of them so far, because I'm sure that there are going to be more as it warms up. But we got a decent amount of little tomato seedlings straight from the spring coming. Super excited about that. So we're gonna leave those there for now. I really want to find those marigolds, because now I know I've been seeing them, and I was like, that's what I saw over here when I said that's not a tomato, it's a marigold. I'm not gonna pull, it's a bunch of them, so I'm not gonna pull them all out on camera. Let's move these squash real quick. These squash that could be cucumbers. Hold on, let me take a picture real quick and see if Apple tells me anything. All right, so I took a picture, and now I'm just gonna go to my picture and click on the info, and it's gonna go around this, and it's gonna tell me what it's a cucumber. Okay, so it's a cucumber, which is not a big deal, because I did want to plant some cucumbers out early. I was going to do that today anyway. So we're gonna take pictures of all of them, make sure they're all cucumbers, and then we're gonna move them to the trellis where I want cucumbers to be, which I'm planting them in the same place that I planted them last year. I know there's this whole thing about doing crop rotation. I really don't have space for crop rotation. I also didn't have an issue with my cucumbers last year. I don't think I had any issues with cucumbers last year. So with that being said, we're gonna put them on this trellis right here closest to the chicken area, and we're gonna let those grow on too. Now, cucumbers are one of the things that they say do not like their roots disturbed, right? But I said it in my last video. I feel like I can transplant anything as long as I take enough soil with it from where it came from and then just drop it down into a hole. So that is what I'm gonna do. So we are about to transplant these cucumbers. So that's exciting because cucumbers also like to grow, like they grow a little bit better when it is the early spring before you get, like, I want to say it's powdery mildew and different diseases that move in from the humidity in my area because we're very humid here. And so I'm gonna move those cucumbers and get this bed cleared out because I'm definitely going, I decided this is gonna be a corn bed. Nothing seems to be coming back, and so I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna switch it to corn and hope I have a really good season. Yep, looks like a cucumber. Let's look at this last one. Yep, said it looks like a cucumber. So all three of these plants are it's four, it's one over there too, are actually cucumbers. So we're gonna transplant them to these trellises. And see, I'm gonna take a lot of soil from around it and take it with it. And then we can just maybe backfill, but we're taking this whole thing with us. All of that is what we're gonna take and plant somewhere else. That somewhere else is right here in this garden bed. Clear out some of the weeds. Then we're just gonna dig a hole right here and drop this down in it. This is a no dig bed, and I did top it with, it's got a lot of roots in it though, but it also has worms. Love it. And mycelium, if you see that white on there, that's mycelium. Love to see it. We love to see it. And see, we're not really disturbing the roots. We literally pick that plant up. Oh, there's a worm in that in there. Y'all see it? It's a tiny little worm. A worm nonetheless. We love it. They're everywhere over here. Nice. Nothing better. Well, there are other better things, but that's a good one too. So I'm planting it like basically in line with this, so when it starts to grow, it'll grow up the trellis and we'll put our stuff back. But that's what we're gonna do with all of those cucumbers. I just saw another marigold. I'm so excited to see these marigolds, y'all. I mean, none of my marigolds came up, and I have probably planted them 3 times now. I'm going to get all of these marigolds. We're going to get them all. Oh, y'all, the sun, we love it. I feel it. I feel the sun. See what I mean when I say I didn't disturb the roots? What I do have, there are a little bit of roots down the bottom, but I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are marigolds right here too. Love that. Oh, love it, y'all. We're gonna put this one right here. And I really want to pull this cabbage. Not bolting though. We're gonna leave it. And then I'll just put the other 2 over here on this side, which is fine. Y'all, I don't know if this match with my garden plant at all. But we'll make it work. I don't know if it matches with my garden plant at all. But I do know I want to save these seedlings. And I think this is a cucumber as well down here. We'll see. All right, let's keep moving. Got another one right here. It was pretty small. Take everything with us. Y'all see that sun? Oh, my body's so happy right now. Oh, y'all, that sun. I needed that sun so bad. All right, we need to go move this borage, but I need to decide exactly where I want to put this borage because borage gets huge. I kind of want to put a borage plant like in between the tomatoes where they'll be. So I'm going to lose tomato bags, but I kind of want to do that because bees love borage when it starts to flower. And so if I could put a big borage plant in between the tomatoes, that would be cool. The only problem is I use a Florida weed sleeve method to trellis my tomatoes, and so I don't think that will work. But what I'm also thinking is, because it is a annual, meaning that the plant will have to be replanted or reseeded or volunteer for the next summer. So I'm kind of thinking, like, if I have a spot in the walkway, not like it literally in the walkway, but to the side of the walkway, like for instance, I have this spot right here, right beside this blueberry bush. I could put one there. It would be huge, work with the blueberry bush. I could stake it if I need to. And then you're gonna have a borage plant here, right across from the tomatoes. And then I don't have to take up any space for a plant. Now, I do use the borage flowers, like to put in my water and stuff. They are edible and they taste like cucumbers. So I do use it for that too. But like if I can have it in a space where it's helping a plant and I can also eat it, use it, however, whatever you want to say, I think that's a good idea too. So, I don't know how many borage plants we got, but I know it's a whole bunch. Also, there's another sunflower in one of those bags over there. But you see it? Well, this is a potato, which we keep getting in this bed, and I don't even remember planting them. But here are all these borage seedlings that volunteered. Oh, look, more tomatoes. We'll come and get those later. But there's more tomatoes in here too. And I'm pretty sure this is more borage coming up right here. Borage really seeds easy. There's a lot of tomatoes in this bed that we're gonna have to come back and get. We're gonna try that spot. And I can literally just tame it. However I tame it, I can tame it. But where is my whelp? Oh, I took it back out here. So we're gonna put one borage there because I don't want a permanent plant there. Because I had thought about putting the fig there, but I was like, that fig is gonna get huge and be all in the walkway. Let's go ahead and grab this borage real quick. We're gonna put one right there. The other thing is I don't really normally have a lot of luck back here because it's shaded a little bit. So I might just put a few back here too. Who knows? Because you're gonna have cucumbers on this trellis that could use some pollination as well. All right, so we got those. I haven't noticed that they mind having their roots disturbed, so let's hope for the best. Another one right there. So one thing I'm slightly concerned about here is that there is, I don't think we're gonna be able to do this. I just thought about it. The landscape fabric is down. So we're not gonna be able to do that because I'm not gonna go all the way down and then cut a hole. I don't feel like doing all of that today. So let's figure out another place to put this borage. All right, so we are gonna put some back here. Like I said, also good thing to put it back here too because borage gets huge, so I could use the trellis to tame it a little bit. So we're gonna put a few back here. Oh my goodness, look at the worms, my friends. Look at the worms. Y'all see them? Nice. Put it back. Put it back. I still haven't decided what this bed is gonna even be. Like what's gonna grow in this bed. There's already onions in there, but those onions I think will be out between June and July if I remember correctly. And so I still gotta figure out what's gonna go in there. We're gonna plant one just somewhere over here and I can stake it. Just because I want something that's very flowerful over here across from these tomatoes. You know where else we could put them? In the flower bed. Duh, I'm gonna put some in the flower bed. That makes sense, and there's tomatoes right across from the flower bed too. Now what I am about to do is pull this cabbage out because I want this closer towards the back of the bed because it does get so tall. And then there's the trellis with the grapevine, the one that the grapevine took over, but I could trellis this to that too if I need to. So we're gonna do that. Let's pull this cabbage out real quick first. Girls, we got another one for you. I know you love that. All right, so now we're gonna put this over here. It's a pretty small one, but they also grow really fast. We'll look up and this will be a big old borage plant, all right? So we have a borage over here. And I think this bed is supposed to be beans in the summer, so I think we'll be fine doing this. And there will be plenty more where this came from. Okay, so we moved that. Let's also go get this sunflower. So this is how I use my volunteers. In case anybody was wondering, like, you get all these volunteers, what do you do with them? I moved them to where I want them in the garden, but I definitely use them. So we got a sunflower in this bed. This is something. I'm gonna have to wait until it grows some some actual leaves, but it's something. I just don't know what it is. Let's get this sunflower and as much soil as we can. So that's a volunteer sunflower. We about to go put it beside a trellis. We're gonna put it right here. We got a big old cabbage right here now, but it's okay. Sunflowers are another thing that grows really fast too. That hole wasn't as big as it should have been. But I'm bending over it, so I just wanted to get it in. There we go. Love that for us too. All right, y'all, I'm getting a little bit chilly, so I'm about to go in the house to take a break, but I want to show you something. There were a few bean seeds that had came up back there where you can see I moved the soil around, so I also transplanted them. Beans don't enjoy having their roots disturbed either. Some of these came up right here beside the trellis. These came up right beside the trellis. This one I just transplanted, and this one right here I just transplanted myself. This one I'm probably gonna move closer to the trellis too because it's kind of mixed in with the deal back here, but it might not be a problem. It's not that far away. When it starts to grow, it's gonna vine and catch on to the trellis anyway. So essentially all of these beans came up from volunteers basically because I didn't pull the pods off, and now I don't have to plant beans on these trellises. And it's possible that they may be more hardy because they grew on their own, right? And so this would be their second year growing in my backyard, and those I didn't even plant. I didn't do anything to get them. So I did also, y'all, go and find some more marigolds. It was only a few of them though. I need them to grow a little bit more to make sure that they're marigolds and not a weed. The ones that I did take, I know they're marigolds because I can see the true leaves on them. Before we go in, I am gonna mist the top of these volunteers that I just put in here, just so that the soil can settle around their roots and they can get you know, established in this new soil.